I know that this is a strange late night video when I should be asleep, but it's been on my spirit to talk about something all day. And since I have not done my hair and I'm camera ready, I would just not go on camera. But I want to talk about procrastination. A lot of people who know me know that I am a very big procrastinator. But with all the mental health things that's going on today, I have spent a lot of time kind of, let's see, what word am I looking for? Kind of really delving into who I am and how I came to be the person that I am. And one thing I can honestly say is very, 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 very important what you say to your children. It's very important that you do not interject your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs onto your children. I think back to when I was a little carefree little kid that really wasn't afraid of a lot of things. Inquisitive, wanted to do a lot of things, and truly was not afraid to do them. I remember asking to get my ears pierced, and I kept asking my grandmother, can she take me to get my ears done? And she kept saying that she would, and it never happened. So I sat down at the kitchen table and I pierced my own ears. I stuck the needles in my ear, and back then we had carbonated Vaseline, and I stuck the needle in, pulled it through, put the string in, put the Vaseline, and then when that was over, took the broom, the, the straw from the broom, sorry, and put that in so it finished healing. There's a lot of things that as a kid I did because nobody would do them. I would ask them and they would say they would do them and they would never do it. They said they were coming over or they was going to be available, or I would ask them for things and they were never there. Then when it got to the point when I would go and do things on my own, I started having people, well, my mom that raised me, because I believe that she interjected a lot of her insecurities and fears on me. So when I would go do things, she would say, oh, you know you shouldn't do that. Oh, you got to be careful about this. Oh, you know you shouldn't do this. Or you know this is going to happen. So she was always interjecting fear on me. But it wasn't really, the fear was really about, it was her fears. But as a kid, I didn't know. I'm thinking she's the adult figure, so she knows. So as time went on, I became fearful. And I started second guessing everything. And then I would start to do things, and then she would come in my ear, whether she was there physically or not, and tell me why I shouldn't do something. And then as I grew older, I was around people who was always, I guess now, when I sit down and I listen to the people of today, everything is negative energy and, you can't say this and that's wrong and all of that. But all the people that I was around exhibited what people now talk about negative energy, because I cannot think of anything positive that was ever said to me. As far as if I was to die today or tomorrow and think back on me growing up as a little kid, I really felt like I was worthless, useless, and never did anything right. And I should always be afraid of everything. So then it got to the point where somebody keeps telling you that you're supposed to be afraid of everything, and they tell you enough, you really start to second guess yourself. So then as I grew older, it kind of, when other people came into my life and did the same, and I would tell them things that I wanted to do, they had their opinions, but it wasn't based on my reality, but on theirs. It's so much so that at this point, one of the dysfunctions I have with some people in my life is that they were reluctant for me to be in the presence of some of their loved ones because they were afraid that I was going to tell them something or change them or whatever. But I did have the opportunity to talk to a couple of these individuals, and what I shared with them was, there's going to be times that my reality is my reality, and what I don't want them to do is to hear anything that I say and change how they feel about an individual, because my experience is my experience and their experience is their experience. And they seem to understand that. And I stressed it. I was like, I don't have a problem with this person or that person or whatever. And how that all ties into the procrastination thing is when you are defined by the opinions of others, which I allowed myself to do or to become, every single time that I wanted to do something, there's been people in my life that came and interjected their thoughts and opinions on me. And I changed the way I moved based on what they said and because of who they were and how I felt about them. Like when I was married, and this is really not anything bad about my ex-husband, because truthfully, he and I should have never been together. And if we did, we should have gone our separate ways a long time ago. But different people said different things, which kept us, we stayed together. And it was to the detriment of both of us. Had we been true to our own selves from the very beginning and listened to our own thoughts, feelings, and opinions, and not to the thoughts of what other people thought we should be, or at least I speak for myself, because I have no idea. Maybe people were telling him he should have been gone or should have never been here from the beginning. I don't know, because we didn't have that kind of communication with us. So I really don't know. But as far as myself, I had people saying different things, and so I made decisions based on the value that I placed on those people and what they said. And when it comes down to it now, you have to value yourself. You have to get to know yourself. You cannot allow other people's feelings and thoughts to be a part of you. There was a young lady that spoke very badly about her ex, said all kinds of things around people that really wasn't, it really wasn't cool. But the individuals that came that shared with me what was said, I had to ask them to make sure that they examined the person that said it, why they said it, and realize the motive and ask questions if they don't understand why somebody does what they do or said what they said. And I did that because I do not want them to for that to stunt their growth and stop moving forward and doing things that they want to do because of what they've heard from someone else. It's unfortunate. I mean, this mental health thing is really, really blowing up, where a lot of people are crashing and burning. And it's really, really unfortunate for them. But it just brings me back to myself when I crashed and burned. And pretty much have been crashing and burning throughout my life. And the negativity that I have received, and the lack of compassion, the lack of empathy that I experienced. And now that I've grown into the person that I've grown into, people classify me as being mean, evil, just a lot of derogatory adjectives. But it's unfortunate because, or not unfortunate, but it's funny to me, because when I had some of the same feelings when I wasn't so mean and wasn't so evil, nobody seemed to care. It was like, get over it, move on. It's in the past. You're supposed to care about this person, and people want you to. You're supposed to care about everybody else, but don't nobody really give a damn about you at the end of the day. When it's all said and done, you sit there by yourself. Because when I went through some of the worst times of my life, and I do mean the worst times, which I'm thankful that I made it through. But when I went through the worst times, the people that I thought would have been there for me was not. I was literally in it by myself. And I sat and I wanted to leave, and I wanted to, even in the midst of all of that I was going through, I still did not make moves based on other people. So a lot of people look at me and think that I procrastinate, but in the grand scheme of things, something is always playing in my head when I'm always putting somebody else before myself. And as I'm making this message, I'm feeling like I'm all over the map, and I probably am. And I guess that's because there's so many different things that's going on in my head. So probably I should start writing down things that I want to talk about and stay on script. But life is not a script. But I know that I appear to be procrastinating to everyone else, but I always think about other people. I honestly do. And if I could just get past that, because I have more days behind me than I do in front of me, so I really, really need to get it together. Because truthfully, what I would like to do is to put my stuff in storage, and take a suitcase and leave, and just go. Not really sure where I want to go, but just go and figure it out. And maybe I will. But chances are I probably won't, because, again, there's people in my life that I am concerned about, or so I think need me. But I know maybe I need them. So, again, define why you're procrastinating. If anybody ever puts that label on you, define why you move the way that you do. Dig deep down inside yourself and figure out why you are making the choices that you're making. Why won't you move forward? Why won't you do the things that you want to do? Keep in mind that other people's feelings and opinions of you are their problem and a reflection of them, not of you. And the analogy that I tend to give individuals is, let's just say if you took your hand and you poured peroxide on it, it's going to do nothing but flow. But if you take that same peroxide and pour that on your hand that has a cut, it's going to bubble up because there's an infection. If you take your hand and you pour alcohol on it, nothing's going to happen. But if you take that same alcohol and pour it on an open cut, it's going to burn. And the reflection of that is to let you know that it's internal. It's something within you that's a problem that you need to address. And so don't take on the responsibility of other people, their thoughts and feelings of you. That's not your problem. Don't not do the things that you want to do because you're concerned about other people. That's not your problem. Don't not move forward. Don't not take that class. Don't stay in a relationship. Don't hang around people. Don't say things. Don't be the person that other people want you to be. Be who you want to be. Make decisions that's in your best interest. Because if you don't, you'll wake up one day and you'll feel like I do. And I'll define that in another video. But for tonight, the procrastination that I tend to do, I'm going to work on changing that real soon. But I don't want anybody else to wake up one day and be 54 and look and think about all the things they could have did, should have did, would have did, could have did, but didn't do. But more importantly, the reasons why they didn't. Don't let other people be walking around living a life that Riley sung about, as some people would say, while you're sitting around with regrets because you didn't live your truth. Because that's part of the problem that I have right now. Is that I had, and I can honestly say I I'm really getting past the anger part at this point. And I got I'll credit, there's a young man that's walking this earth right now that I don't understand at all, but he has been so monumental in opening my eyes and my daughter's eyes to things that we needed to have seen, but has definitely made a difference in how we move. And one day, God willing and able, we'll sit down and I'll share with him, if I get the opportunity to share that with him, and why it was monumental, or why he was monumental without even knowing it, but he was. I hate that he is the person that had to have shown us, but God uses who he uses. But anyway, with all that being said, again, don't live with regrets because you put other people before you, which to other people seems like you're procrastinating, when in actuality, you love them so much that you put them above yourself and you put what you want on the back burner, which is what I've done my whole entire life. And I know when the day comes when I stop doing that, or if I wake up today or tomorrow and one day people are looking for me and I'm gone, people are going to be sitting back talking and saying, oh, you know, she shouldn't have did this or whatever, or she's always been this way or that way. And the only regret I'll have is that I should have did it sooner. But don't be like me. Be better. Pleasant dreams.